Okay, back for the second part of this series. Um, in this series, I'm uh, I'm basically doing just as a recap. In this series, I'm basically saying like, look, the thing that's happening, like the one of the I'm basically saying the thing that's happening here with FF8 is not that like any individual part of it is a problem. Like junctioning by itself isn't a problem. Um like even like some of these systems when working in concert with each other are not as much of a problem. Like something I've seen a lot of is like, oh yeah, is like I agree junctioning isn't a problem on its own. I agree that like it's the systems working together to like cause an issue. But the thing that's always missing is how just easy it is to break the game for yourself in either direction. Like it's not fun to play if you're not junctioning because at that point the enemy's HP is padded. Like even though the enemy's scaling is supposed to happen, like it takes you forever to kill anything for like no reason. And it takes the enemy forever to kill you, so it's not like hard to do anything. Well, up to a certain point, because there's a point at which the everything will spike because they've assumed that you've learned the junction how the junction system works. So that gets extra awkward. Speaking of awkward, Squall is a party. Um. Oh yeah, I was talking about. So if you play it like the normal way, or like without, I don't understand the junctioning system. You try to play it that way. You get a game. Does not have best looking guy here syndrome in this screenshot. I can't dance, he says. Figures it out in less than 30 seconds. Kind of. Okay, less than a minute. Okay, sorry, I was saying a thing. So the other way the game breaks is if you engage with any of its systems at all. And the thesis is the other way the game breaks is you engage with the systems at all, and that's what we're exploring here. I'm only going to push on the game systems a little bit. Obviously, if you like try to completely max out on everything you're doing, the game will just um the game will break. But any game will break if you try to max out on anything. Any like it doesn't matter if you're talking about like Pathfinder or like this or like any FF game, or it doesn't really matter what RPG of any, even friggin' Dark Souls will break if you push it all the way through the games on the game systems. The problem is you don't have to push all the way. You just have to push a little bit. And that's what I'm saying here is like if you engage with all of the game systems a little bit, um the game will cave to that. Um I've shown a little bit of that in the last part, but in this part there's gonna be a little bit more of this. Now, there's some caveats here. One is I'm not pushing. One is I'm not pushing a lot. I'm not min maxing the hell out of this. I'm not going ham. I'm actually not going to do anything. There's gonna be a bunch of spots where I'm like, you know what? I don't think a regular player would do this. I don't think a regular player would push this hard on this, so I'm gonna leave it alone. So that's one thing. And then, uh, another is like I am doing this like fully aware that this is a little bit subjective. That like people engage with games in different ways, and most I don't know most, but a lot of players tend not to engage that hard with the game that they're playing. Tend not to like explore all the systems of a game that they're playing. So some of this stuff would be like, oh yeah, well like people wouldn't know about this or whatever. But I think in the case of FF8, you really don't have to push that hard. There's like a way to get super powerful early where you like where you I don't remember if the garden was on this side. It's going to be one of the open ones, and there's only going to be a couple of open ones. It's not the quad. Obviously, if you start out like this and you junction a bunch of Curaga, you like buy a bunch of like grind money so you get paid, and then buy a bunch of tents. I could have just gone this way. That's the dorms. This is the parking lot. We grind up a bunch of tents. Is this the garden? Part of the garden? There's a tree. You can get a lot of HP, and then if you grind another force tutorial. Cool. Again, all of this was at the terminal she told us to use when we first started the game. So, like, if you did that, this would be a recap of that, which is, like, fine, but should it be forced at that point if it's the second time you had the opportunity to look at it? Mm-hmm. 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 I said normal status with status effect structure. Hear ya. I love how it tells you right in the tutorial. Oh yeah, and by the way, this doesn't always work. Junction sleep on your status thing. That beats up tree Rexors. But also, do we have any of that right now? So we might have like, oh, we have a couple of sleep spells. So what happens if we try to junction? Oh, she doesn't have a GF junction. Do we have the other people? Okay, I can go into Zell and Selfie and let's do that. Conjunction Shiva, Zell. Yeah, we're gonna have to exchange the magic in a minute. Selfie. The other thing that's going on here is I have like really awkward control over things because I'm using a keyboard and mouse, and I'm not really used to that for a JRPG like this. Can I junction magic to status attack? I can do it to elemental attack, but I can't do it to status attack. Okay, we're gonna try not to. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Magic. Item. And I believe Zell has the water spells we were using to like give all, and Selfie's holding some thunder spells we might need. Give all. Action. So every time someone has to fiddle with this becomes kind of. There's another type of game for which this actually, like, doing this kind of thing actually is is good. But this ain't it. Oops, I don't want to junction water to. If I try to do this, does that... Okay, cool. That's great. I guess we'll put thunder. Do I have a potion here? I do. Okay. I'm gonna use one. And I think that's basically it. What is switch? Oh. Does it let you do that here? Oh, it lets you junction exchange. That would have been really helpful. I could have done that. Alright. I was saying something, and I don't remember what it was. Right. take either the right or the left path through, and then up on my back. Run from T-Rex or they're gonna eat my face. These things are cool. That's actually kind of useful. But what is this spell? Sleep in silence. We're not going to sit here drawing sleep spells from this enemy, even though that's the play pattern the game kind of wants me to engage in. I am not doing it. Aha. And it doesn't, we shouldn't need to, because we're picking up things, items that can be transferred into, or refined into the other things anyways. We don't have the refine ability for that just yet. We're gonna get it. But yeah, like, at 35 damage per hit, what are we doing? But then also, when we hit them for 58, and you saw, like, Squalls making up the difference here, Quistis would have to hit this guy, like, 4 times. Like, even that doesn't kill it on its own, so you have to hit them again with this. It's actually even worse than that. Like, only Squall is doing enough damage to do anything. But at the same time, we don't have another character that can equip to strength. So I guess what you could do, right, you could say, like, okay, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have Squall physically attack and use Rinse-A-Caken or whatever. And you're supposed to have Quistis cast spells. Which is fair. And I did junction her magic to her thing to magic for exactly that reason. But that's, again, like, to buff her doing that. But let's do something for science. Are we any better now? Oh, I can't do that yet. Next fight. Because the question is, are we any better now at casting Thunder Magic? Does it outpace the amount of damage you would deal with a physical attack that's been, like, jacked up from that's had the damage jacked up? I might not even need to do it. It had the damage jacked up from junctioning. And I think the answer is just no. It's just never... Just forget, like, the resource use. I don't even think it does any... I don't even think it does more damage most of the time. Because remember, like, junctioning water to Squall's strength has jacked his strength stat up to 38. But junctioning, water to Quistis' magic stat only puts it at, only puts it at, like, 26? And it shows in the damage output. Oof. I don't understand how anyone sees that and is like, yeah, like Cloud's the emo guy who's like who's like the total jerk that I hate. Like he's the, because like at least with Cloud, there's a clear separation between his actions and his words, right? And the separation of the action and his words is like, yeah, I say like I'm not interested. I say I'm not like, I don't care about anything, and I'm always end up helping people do shit randomly, right? It always happens. Like there's a weird separation there between the person that I say that I am and the person I actually am, right? So that's Cloud. And then, like, Squall doesn't have that separation. Squall is just, like, an ass. Well, the reason why Squall doesn't have that separation is because the game gives you more optionality on how to, like, play him, if that makes any sense. So you can be more of a jerk or not, depending. And because it gives you those options, and it just seems more in character for Squall to be more of a jerk, people will make those selections or make those choices, and he's just going to come off as more of an asshole, right? And there isn't too much of a way to avoid that. Yep. Just to finish this. Because this monster tends to have, like, I'm gonna make a physical attack in his, like, suite of stuff that he does. It actually ends up being kind of hard to lose that fight. Even though on paper it's pretty easy. Yeah, these things. Even here, they weren't going to put you up against a T-Rex or mostly. Alright. Boss number 3. Oh, right. Quist is still hurt by this. Do we have a GF? I don't think so. Blue Magic, Ultra Waves. I'm gonna heal Quistis here. Oh, this is Squall casting. Oops. Yeah, I should not have Squall casting here. I can cast, but it's not the goal. Oh. Remember if like they're doing so little damage on their hits that it's actually almost poor signaling in the sense that I don't actually know yeah, see, that thing is just dead. And there's 3 of these. Usually when you have a fight that looks like this, there's some kind of ordering that makes sense because these enemies are working with each other in some way that matters. And it just does not feel like that's happening here. Quistis is here taking poison damage, and we don't really care. Mm-hmm. XP for that. Strong magic power on that stone. We learned life magic refine. Um... Rooms. So the new dorms are singles because of increased status. Yes. Exactly how that we are going to save the game. And actually, we'll look at this for a second. So, Ice Magic Refine. We've got these M-Stone pieces that are sitting around. 5 Blizzagas. Right. All the way up. All the way up. Let me think about this for a second. So we're not going to be casting any of these. We're just going to junction them to a spell, to a thing. Oh, also, life recovery magic. 10 Kiragas per tent. We have 5 tents just kind of sitting here in our inventory, which means the M-stone piece is still here, the wizard stone is still here, that 5 Kiragas. So if I really wanted to, I could get 100 Kiragas off of just the tents they gave me, the wizard stones they gave me, right? Because 1 turns into 5, so 10 will turn into 50. And between that and the tents, that will give me 100 Kiragas. And then I'll have 6 left to put into whatever else I want to put it into, right? And in fact, that is exactly what I'm going to do here. And again, like, I haven't bought, because the thing you would do, oops, I don't have an HP junction yet, right? So I can't junction to my HP yet. So the thing you would actually do is you would wait until you could junction to your HP and then do this. So I jumped the gun a little bit. But, like, let's say for a minute that we weren't going to do that. Yeah, let's say for a minute we weren't going to do that. Actually, let's just go Thunder Magic Refine, because we can only turn the Wizard Stones into Thundagas into this kind of magic anyways. I'm gonna go. So we didn't use card to turn anything into, or card magic refine to turn anything into anything else. We didn't do any of that. And yet, we're still in this weird spot. Or if I junction magic to Squall's strength stat, is Thundaga's not quite as good. So, oops. Thundaga's not quite as good, so we'll just leave that as water. But, yeah, we're just gonna walk out of here. We have 400 G now. When I learned Life Match Refine, the Life Match Refine is working out well for me, so let's go over to GF. Go over to Siren. And let's go over to... Oh, that's how you get your status attack junction, status defense junction. I see. Okay. Move finds hidden save draw points. I wonder where those are typically. Okay, we're just gonna grab Tool Refine, I guess. Grab Fire Magic Refine at this point. I guess I could also do like Strength plus 20, might be cool. Fit. Shiva, I think. Oops. Shiva has Strength Refine for Strength Junction. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for right now. And then, because I want another person to be able to junction stuff to Strength. And then you should have. Oh, you're picking up Mid Mag Refine, and then we want HP Junction after that. So it shouldn't take too much longer. $20 AP. Encounter rate in some of these spots is crazy. I just saved. I don't need to save at the save point again. Should see Sid at the entrance. Here he is. Zell comes in on a hoverboard. How sick would it be? The hoverboard is never heard from again. How sick would it be to have a hoverboard as, like, a thing you could traverse the world with? Just random... We forget not seeing the hoverboard in this game again. I'm pretty sure we don't see a hoverboard as, like, a method of transport in a JRPG until, like, a Tales game that's, like, on the PS4 or something. Oh. And Squall. Give him the thing here. I forgot to give you this. Right. That's another way we can break the game, and we're just not going to do it. Because Diablo has a bunch of stuff on him that's really powerful. Just really sick. Support ability is like an easy access to another strength strength junction thing. And we're just... I'm not feeling it. GH, or how you... Like that. Counter rate is too damn high. I think, like, there's a thing of, like, the road has a lower encounter rate or something if you stick to the road. I don't know how true that is. Oh, Zell and Selfie don't have anything equipped right now, right? I moved it over to Quistis. I also need to do this before I get onto the train. I need to switch their stuff back. That's currently all in Quistis. So there's an easy way to do that. But if I remember right, changing over a junction doesn't change over... GF. Ability switch card... Switch, right? So switch gives exchanges the stuff that's on Quistis with the stuff that's on Zell. But switch doesn't exchange the magic that's on Quistis. So exchange with... Oh, it does. It does give you all that stuff. Alright. Never mind then. Good, good. AP from the sea. We need 20 to get the refinement ability we're looking at. How do I feel about that? We get AP from beating up enemies anyways. I think one beach fight is probably fine. Or... one beach fight or 6 AP, whichever happens first. I guess since we ran into this enemy formation, I'm probably just gonna go back to. I'm probably just gonna go to Timber and move on with my life. Because once you're in the... No. I'm gonna fight one fight on the beach. Should be pretty quick. We'll end up running into another fight, like, after... These fin things are annoying. Yeah, no one else's attacks matter. It's 2 hits to kill the fin. I forget what this is called. But like Selfie's still doing 40. And then Zell still hits for 53. And then Squall's still doing 4 times as much damage as the other 2 party members. Because leveling up doesn't really change anything. Spin 680. Okay. Moving on. Area still pays out the most AP by a lot. Nice. AP bonus. Right, that's the car rental service. We don't want any of that smoke. We got paid 4K. Do I want to buy more stuff? Does the store have anything interesting to sell me? Oh, this is... Needs gemstone pieces and screws from somewhere. Use a fish fin. Oh, he has the metal knuckle already. That's why it's the cheapest one. Is because this is how you refine back into the basic level of the thing that you have. I don't know why you would. It's not really a shop. Okay, moving on then. The other one is this is the one where you buy stuff. Oh, hang on. I do have access to that. Okay. Is there anything I care about? Fuel for the car. Gee. Remedy. Holy water. Antidote. Okay, can you... Feel like... Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it too. I think each of those can either be refined into... Oh. Oh. Oh, I was so excited for a moment. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, nothing there. Sort it, please. And we're moving on. Yes. Okay. Onto the train we go. Jeez, what? Can't... What? I got a 4K paycheck and had to pay 3K for a friggin' ticket. So I could go do my job. No, it doesn't. We had to pay $3,000 for this. Hold up. No, Zell and Selfie didn't have to pay $3,000 for this. Squall had to pay $3,000 for this. It was $4,000 paycheck. So that's why he thinks it pays, because he didn't have to pay. Timber full plate is so bad, so now Timber is trying to back. And with machine gun. Stone piece, 4 screws, AP, tier spells, Funguars. Kind of have to be careful with these, I think. I don't know if they're as dangerous in FF8 as they are in some of the other Final Fantasy games, but they do put your whole team to sleep and then poison you. marks, everything. I don't remember what kind of enemy that is. Graindel, something like that. I think the Graindels are like a little bit more powerful than that. Something I actually do appreciate from Final Fantasy VIII is they almost never palette swap an enemy. Like, I think it might happen like for like 1 or 2 enemy types or something like that. So almost every enemy in the game is like completely unique. Or at least there are more unique enemies. I don't know how you can be lost if the car is right fucking there, right? Like, oh, we're lost again. Car's right there where you left it. Like, what? Did you get lost while you were in the car? You have... I guess you wouldn't have stuff like GPS or anything like that here, because they only... Like, there's no, like, satellite or anything. But, like... I don't know. It's a lot harder to get lost in a car, right? Like... dirt paths. Presumably you've got a map and a dashboard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Right, of course. Yeah, we have 100 waters, so we never need to draw that spell, that thing from anything again. And we're just using it to buffer stats, so it's not like we're actually casting them ever. But it just results in the best stat buff to the strength stat that you have. Alright, back to Dealing City. But you can't possibly be that lost if you know exactly where the hometown is. Yeah, and of course it's immediately a problem. Balls. This is cool because it's like these sequences are also cool because they show you sequences ahead of time. Oh, should be no reason to be here, right? But I guess we're here anyway. Yeah, I think I was supposed to go in a different direction. But I'm gonna check this out, like, anyway. How open could this possibly be? There's a save point here. I remember that. I'm kind of just wasting time. I should really, like, go back upstairs to see what's going on over there. But I want to see how far... Like, what? This just casually opens, right? Oh, but it's the only place you can do that. Can I open the other one and get that... Like, I'd need to go here. I need to cross. And then... Okay, but I can't go past the save point, right? Okay. Yeah, because it's blocked. I wonder if opening that gate here means it's open, like, later when I come back. It wouldn't make any sense. Like, this is so far ago, and, like, the sewer has been traversed since then. It's not like no one's been in the sewer since then. So it really wouldn't make any sense. On that level. Adia Hotel. Okay. There's... Mission successful. Julie's just like looking right at the fucking camera. um. Oops. Receptionist? Can you finish the sentence? Oh. Squall wakes up. Reports to the headmaster once you get back to the ground. Go. Train into here. I think because of the timber sequence being like this. Not yet. Move anywhere yet, so okay now. Maybe. Owls. Ring. See. No handshake. Selfie knows how to be human. Zell gets ignored here. Princess's nap time. Well, I don't think I need to do anything with that right now. Yeah, this worked, but it probably shouldn't. Well, there's like a million extenuating circumstances. Get a name. And her dog gets a name. I think this is the first time we've seen this dog. Another forced tutorial of a thing. It, again, it makes sense. So, this is a system that we aren't actually going to engage with. Because it requires doing a bunch of work in a direction that I'm not going to be able to, like, pay off by the end of this. So I wonder if it keeps track. No, it doesn't. All right. Whether it's full scale operation or just more so. This is actually a really, really, really cool mission setup. Like, really cool mission setup. Basically. Red light, green light. Range on their sensors equals the length of. Stop if there's a blue card below you. Oh. I'm so bad at this. C. Oops, that's okay. I'm going to try and figure out how to get my the sooner the better. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get controller support working with this, because I cannot do this mission without proper controller support. I cannot do this mission on a keyboard. That was atrocious. Let's see if this just works. Any chance we can run the game? Any chance? And the controller does jack all. Okay, I'm just gonna try it, but I don't know that this is gonna work out. Oh. Yeah. Plugging it in to run it is just not gonna work. Alright. We will see. It's watts, right? We're gonna see. Oh, I see. I'll wash the blue card. I think I could have done it. Can't now, obviously. Can you? R2, decouple these. Over. Couple together. Only decoupling cars, the cars that has the code, which is weird, but whatever. It failed all the practice ones, got the... Good. I don't know if I fired that off, if I didn't fire it off too. The red light, green light part of this is not really applicable to what's going on. Just going by vibes there. shit. Fuck. Yeah, but I was done the code. It's just like I didn't see them coming. The problem is, like, you can't even mess up the code fast enough to get that to not work. Because there's a delay on every button you have to press for the code, and the code, like, I have to figure out where the buttons are as well, which is not a thing on controller. They give you more time on the retries. That's not the part that's hard. Oh, they let you climb back up late. Okay. There's a point where I thought it was too late. One, two, four. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, they give you a bunch more time, but it's not the part where there's a problem. 1, 2, 2, 3. Of these. Two, 4, 2. Yeah, it's just I'm not using a controller, so I have to, like, and I'm not used to using a keyboard for this, so I have to, like, translate whatever the symbols are to whatever it would be on controller to whatever it would be on my keyboard. And, like, S, X, C, and V are not letters that are, like, arranged in the same way as they would be arranged on a controller, nor are they arranged in a line. We're good for this. I don't think we can equip anything to status, so I think this is fine. I think this boss only has, like, just not that much HP. So we know when we're ready. I think we can save the game, actually, first. And I should, because I don't want to do that again. And the dealing... I think the president has an attack... Like, I think it's a little bit more complicated than just running this the normal way. So it didn't take that long, it was just... I sucked. Remember how much health he has, but it's not more than a lever, right? And I did completely forget to swap his HP out, I guess. Sorry, I forgot to swap Zell's equipment out for someone's stuff that actually mattered. For some reason I thought he had those GFs equipped, but I guess not. Oh, this is kind of bad, right? Let's do this. Yeah. Oh, is Squall afflicted by slow, or is that zombie? No, zombie would be worse than this, right? I think that's just some goop for slow. That's supposed to be. Doesn't really matter that... What's it with sign? I wonder if... Okay, if Squall gets a turn here... Not... Pick... Pure... Self. Yeah. Guess what we could do here. It's not quite enough damage for me to care about that. Squall is slowed the fuck down right now. Almost kills Zell. I hope that's not the zombie status and it's quote unquote just blind. I think so. Blinded, but he doesn't. Selfie's missing anyway, and I don't know if that's. Dude really does not like Zell. That comes in just before I get to cast, and so when he goes to draw, it fails. So we're just all in on trying to kill this guy. Hitting him. Slowed, silenced. I didn't realize Selfie was also blinded at the same time like that. That much damage. Squall is ever blinded here. We're kind of SOL, right? This should be pretty strong. I thought that hits in the chain. Yeah, it's just not a lot of decisions to be made here. Oh, how much this thing has. Did I just... Divide this time. for one. Oh, yeah, I already got it. I guess we need. Let me just with it. Not likely. Of course, like, just corner huddle. Yep. Okay. So, I think this actually gets to the part of this that's... So we just got mid-match refine, right? Yeah, we did. Do we have enough? So we have a bunch of Blizzard spells here. Just gonna refine Blizzard into Blizzara. Actually... I want to refine Ice Magic from M-Stone Piece into Blizzard spells. Squall to the tune of all of them. And then I don't think water scales up as a spell. Go to mid-match refine. And then Squall. What's a water spell? Yeah, it doesn't scale up as a spell. Blizzard does, though, so 5 will refine into 1 Blizzara, so we just go... change all our Blizzard spells to Blizzara spells. We'll just wait on the rest. And then we have... GF. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to just do HP junction so we have access to that. Ifrit, you also have HP junction to that. We'll do this now. And Siren's over here. Siren has magic junction by default. New refine, tool refine. We'll just do that. Just got that. She has strength. Yeah, I'll I actually do not remember this part of the game at all. For like the rest of the timber area stuff. Just not one bit. Yeah, Watts was too conspicuous. There's fights here? I guess it's occupied timber, huh? Okay. Oh, we're still beat to shit. Oh, that's bad. Alright. We'll have to sort that out when we can. After this fight, maybe? No, I need to swap around some stuff, because I think the other two GFs are just not on anyone right now, and I need to fix that situation. GF received 3 AP, but we didn't get the... Okay, so. Junction. Who has... Yeah, these just got, like, unjunctioned at some point. After the, Magic. Draw. Item. Magic. Justice. You don't have it. It's Zell, isn't it? It's pretty annoying. Change. Take all magic from others. I exchange all? No. This is a often under-recognized annoying part of having the game systems operate off of magic in this way. You do end up with a situation where go in that direction. I wonder the soldiers didn't listen to him at all. So I have to run past. I feel like there's a. If I try to walk this way. So, still hit with all these statuses. Resist through combats. Okay, let's sort that out in a bit. And so Shiva learns strength junctioning map thing. So now I can go into Renoa and junction water to strength. Pretty big. So now I don't really care about junctioning anything to magic. I can go into my items. We can just sort this out. Care that much. The Squall is silent. Okay, so is that... Where does this go? Okay. Timber Maniacs is the, like, journalism thing or whatever. I'm probably going this way. Renoa should be doing a decent chunk of damage on her attacks now. Yeah. Not quite as much as I'd like. But still enough that this only takes one round of combat to beat these guys. What's your deal? It's not doing that much damage right now. Angela just comes in for the kill. 280 drops this guy, and small levels up, which isn't actually great. Hard as a result. Let's pick up a few extra potions and high potion and Phoenix down and remedy. Over here. Can I move my characters, please? What the fuck is happening? Alright, can you let me save my game, guys? Oh, it's because I have to go to the... Okay, no, that makes sense. I thought I had to, like, go through the text dialogues. The text that was there. But it's just kind of running side reel to the other stuff that's... Okay. Certification. Yeah, I'll tell you. So serious, it hurts. It's like, she runs off, and then the broadcast starts. Like, George W. dealing here. Because Zell is this much special forces, right? Fucking idiot. Yeah, I forgot that this happened. So this isn't. So the way this isn't like inherently like the thing being written poorly. I just hate everyone in this situation. stops them. This section is like a longer section of conversation than I thought it was. By a lot. Six scans. I guess I can just run for it. So, leave. That's like counter to something that Squall said, I think, like an hour ago or something like that. Alright. It's not. There we go. West through the forest west. Okay. So for ease of everything, I'm just gonna move Renoa in the party. So I don't have to swap around junctions again. The soldier's like right there. Is this it? Down for Balon. Oh, this is probably it, right? Oh. No. The other train. So Zone and Watts are somewhere around someplace, I guess. I don't remember where these guys even were. They're not here. The base was destroyed. Oh. Oh. It's not zoned somehow. Is there something with... Right, okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah, at least we don't have to pay like $3,000 a ticket this time. Zone provides better than fucking Balam Garden does. Uh... Right. So we go to dollars. I can't remember if it's like here where we pass out again on the thing. There's like, I just drew a blank for all of what was going on in Timber. Okay. Can I go into either of these rooms, or do I have to go past Selfie to do it? Way. So weird way to make that transition. Yes. We. It's kind of. Much more fight here. Basically, this isn't even. This isn't even. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a new enemy type, is what I mean by it isn't even the good one. Siren. Let's go to the thing and wood refine for that. Nothing yet. And meat does this thing. Yeah, it is. They have a fucking missile base. They'll nuke it from orbit. Anyway. A different 3 people got knocked out. So Squall is still set up a certain way, but also he's silenced, so I can't heal him out of this if I don't have... They give me the ability to go look at my menu first. Fine, but... So now that we're here, did... Set up junctioning. Siren. Oh. Okay, how about this then? Yes. I don't know who has... Oh. SOL anyway. I can't junction any magic. But I can get... Worthless. And then... what I can do from here is... Magics? No, it's on specific people. So what if we go... Fire Magic Fine? We have M Stone Piece, which gets us a little bit, but not things like fine. Cottage, which is 20 cure. The other thing does. Zombie Powder Treasure. Maybe something with heroes. 5 zombie powder. We tried a junction. Oops. Zombie spell. Securos' strength stat. What do you do? 36. That's pretty powerful, actually. This is powerful. Okay. 4 sleep spells. Back attacked. Shotgun. I don't know. Yeah, we don't have the HP junction yet. If we ever get the HP junction, see how close we are to that right now. It was Quetzalcoatl, 19 and 50. So we're actually kind of far from it. We haven't fought that many fights in this game yet, either. Like, the random encounter rate is really high in some spots. We haven't really fought, like, it just said, like, 100 kills, so we haven't, we brought up the achievement for 100 kills. But, which means less fights than that by a lot. Maybe 30. Sure. It's more than 30 and less than 50, right? Levels, 3 more AP, which we this area. It levels up again. Like the detonation thing for this damage. Weird freaking enemy pattern of attack. This thing having a lot of health too. And doing a lot of damage with this. Only later in the game. Just use it like that. I wonder if it just didn't parry properly. I remember there's a sequence of fights at the end of this. I think they're all against three groups of this kind of enemy. Okay, here's a question. Is there a front and back row in this game? Party members? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so, actually. The rates are too damn high. Laguna and Kiros. Horde gets in. Do we wipe one? Nope. So now we're back to enemies taking a little bit too much to kill. But I think this is kind of a function of not being able to do Strength Mage Refine on all three enemies. But also they don't do enough damage to me to actually be threats. Right? Like 35 damage is nothing. I wonder if the people who are like, yeah, you just attack every time and win, were like the only FF they played, or the only JRPG they played was Final Fantasy VIII. Because that does end up being true in this. Okay. So. It's dead. haven't used anything other than the attack command since the last boss fight. And this is not, like, normal RPG stuff. Like, people complain about Persona sometimes. And, like, how, oh, it's you just match the spell to the enemy. And this is, like... This has devolved into worse than that. And just, for this is Kyros, right? Just for science, just to hammer this home. $254. Oh, right. Soul Crush injures them to 1 HP. It's a boss fight. I love how, like, somehow Kyros just has this, like, casually... The way he falls off is, like, this totally normal thing. You threw them off. Okay. Zell's like, I think they went to the dream world, which is this weird... Save the game. So timing here says 5:48. So we don't have... So, I'm coming up on the other end of the 5-hour mark. The 6-hour mark I was talking about. Right? And... we don't have the HP junctioning ability yet. Such an annoying thing to be fighting right now. What is this thing? Okay. Next time it's Squall's turn. I think I have some scans. This is the first magic spell I've used in a huge amount of time. Undead monster, so it's very weakness slowly. So I could have cast the cure spell and finished it up. As it turns out, it's going to be dead fairly soon. It's got pretty high defenses, I guess. That's really annoying. Renoa didn't do quite enough damage to actually kill it. So this is going to kill Zell? No. Just a lot of damage. Okay. It gone. It's at least, like, just one. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because we're not actually trying to, like, finish out the game or, like, progress a huge amount here, is I just want to get to first to switch the stuff that was on Quistis. Really struggling with this control scheme. Don't have. Okay, whatever. Forgot to check how much longer it was to get to the HP thing. I think these two are pretty easy to kill. At least the crawly thing is. So because I'm not actually trying to finish this out, I really do just want to get to the point where I have the HP junction thing to, like, and then I want to do, like, one final, like, build. This is just, again, just using the systems the game has and the game's shown me. The difference between playing the game when not junction and play the game with junction is pretty clear, right? Like, the enemy damage is not enough to kill your characters or to even, like, threaten them, really. And the enemy oops, that's the thing. I want GF, that one. So we're looking at HP junction 9 points. And for Ifrit, it's also 9 points. Okay. So, not long. I'm just gonna run around here. So we're about, I don't know, about halfway, because there's not that many sequences of, like, things that would be combat. There's just this, the Dealing City, and the, I forget what it's called, the Shrine of the False King or something like that, or the Temple of the False King, or the Maze of the False King. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, I think, is actually what it is. Don't remember. Tomb of the Unknown King. Something like that. The place where you get the brother summon. Line status is annoying. When I'm trying to wipe this guy. Yeah, these fights are annoying here. So the fights here are annoying, but also the area is weird for like a bunch of other reasons. This casts Thunder, and it does 97 damage, and even without like HP bonuses of any kind, it's still like that thing's gonna have to hit me 10 times in order to kill me from full. I'm not at full, but it also kind of doesn't matter. And so any situation in which I run into an enemy that looks like that, is just like, who cares? And again, this is kind of true of other Final Fantasy games, but not this true. Like, enemies are usually able to threaten you to the tune of like more damage than this. And battles don't usually last like this many rounds. Even in something that's as like quote unquote slow as Final Fantasy IX, taking 3 rounds of combat to finish a fight is a lot. And we're not doing enough damage to like Rinoa fires this off, whatever, right? It does 150 damage. If she used magic, it would be like 250, which in a case like this works out to basically the same thing. I might be able to, I keep forgetting to do this, but I might be able to draw from these enemies to see if there's something, but it looks like this area is just like status effect themed. And everything, any status effect you pick up is still weaker than, like, the water status, right? I think we're still one fight before where we need to be. Yeah, that thing's really annoying. I guess I can cast Cure Spells at it to kill it. Squall's blinded, but it hasn't mattered. Not you. See what I get for trying. Like, Rinoa needs to fire this off at Squall to wake him up, so that I can actually make decisions with. Rinoa is now blinded. Pensikick and blind. This should finish that enemy. Does not. I know Rinoa's like offensive attack power is kind of in the dumpster anyway. So bringing her along like didn't help with the pacing of these fights. But it's kind of bad, like, anyways, right? Like, these guys are pretty... The guy on the left has 600 health. He takes extra damage from cure spells. So I am kind of like slow rolling it in that way. But he also doesn't, we're not doing very much less damage, I think, than Cure would do against that enemy type. Anyway, we're killing this guy. And there's... Okay, so you two learn HP jump. So now, the last thing I want to show, we come in at 5:59. So let's build our team as well as we can. You don't have anything. Selfie have anything on her? Yeah, she has all the things. Exchange. Can I... I guess I would need to... Which... Shit. Let's see. Junction exchange. So... I want to swap... Cell doesn't have anything, right? So we're going to swap... Or, hang on. He doesn't have anything equipped at all. So... I want to swap Renoa's stuff. Oh, but the problem is when I do that, Quistis now has all of the stuff that was junctioned to Renoa. So now I want the magic, but I can't get, like, I can't exchange the magic that way. So I kind of have to just go. This is obnoxious. Oh, no. It's just selfie. Okay. Give all. Give all. For the purpose of junctioning, I don't care about the rest of this stuff. Ability. Does Tool Refine do anything? Okay, so I kind of wasted my time. That's okay. Thunder Magic. 20 arrows. I didn't realize you could get arrows from that. Thunder Magic. So. 83 Thunder Spells. And honestly, Life Magic Refine. So a cottage gets us... We have somewhere else Kirigas? No? So... I'm gonna give Renoa 20 Kirigas, I guess. And then 20 zombies to... Wall, I guess? Okay. And then Mid-Mag Refine is where a lot of the action's gonna happen. I guess we could have turned these into blizzard spells and then had more other stuff. But I think this works on anything else we're doing. So let's start junctioning. So Squall has so if I put all of the things I put into making thunder spells or whatever, all those stones into making thunder spells, into making cure spells, I'd have this. This is enough of a bonus to mess stuff up. And then even if I wasn't doing stuff with like even the zombie spells they gave me is 1604, right? That's an increase in health of... Remember, they were already, like, taking forever to kill me. So if I get... So, like, equipping zombie here... Actually, I'm not even going to equip Kiriga, right? Because we're talking about... Even were we not going to do... Even were we not going to do the maximum amount of thing, right? We're still at a spot where we have way more, Shiva and Siren. Oh, both Quetzalcoatl and Ifrit. Okay, hang on. If I try to equip Quetzalcoatl here, I guess? Oh, I have to unjunction it from Squall this time, because... So let's put that one back. You lose the ability to junction magic or whatever. Don't care. That all stays the same. Junction, Renoa, I guess. She's just who has it. GF. Not really making use of that junction. So, junction. HP. And you have these zombie spells. So we're going to junction 100 zombies to HP. We're going to junction water to strength. And then we're going to leave the other stats alone. So you have a strength stat of 43 and an HP stat of this. Now, because it's Renoa, it's just not going to do that much damage. But it's still like... Actually, let's just... switch the junctions between Zell and Renoa here. Right? And then... got a couple of remedies, so let's just fix these status effects. And now... so, we're already in the realm of having only 100 less health than we had at the start, and being way out of range of dying to basically any enemy, right? Because remember, the regular enemies only deal about 100 damage to our characters, and we're just in Renzikaken mode, or hang on. Let's figure out how to pronounce this and pronounce it correctly. Renzokuken. We're just in Renzokuken mode. All the time. Just permanently there. Just as a result of... and this is just, like, partially just as we're playing, but we didn't do anything special to get here. I did go and refine Cure Magic to get a bunch of Curagas, but I didn't have to equip a bunch of Curagas to Squall to get to the point where he's permanently in Renzokuken mode. Right? The enemies aren't doing, like, 300 damage to me, as we've kind of established from, like, all the fights we're in, because their levels are low and my levels are low. But my levels aren't that low. Like, I didn't go out of my way to play the game any, like, all that differently to avoid, like, random fights. And in fact, I stopped for a bit to go pick up items. I did... this is the thing, right? I'm now at the kind of HP that you would normally get, like, from leveling, you would only get to this kind of HP at level 36 to 40, I think. And yet, like, and that's, like, deep into, well, I guess deep into disc 2, so, like, end of disc 2, start of disc 3 territory, is where this kind of HP shows up. But the enemies aren't doing the kind of damage that warrants this kind of HP. I'm, like, functionally invincible to the enemies that are here. Like, I mean, on pure damage, I mean. Like, I guess a Funguar variant could put my team to sleep and then I could be poisoned for a while. And maybe if I was careless before that, I could die. But other than situations like that, like, Adia, I'm pretty sure, only does somewhere between 300 and 700 damage on the stuff that she's doing. And I mean, like, between 300 and 700 damage when you start counting, like, double casts. Right? Like, this is this is, as long as you are engaging with the game system. So, like, the reason why I have the zombie things is because I picked up zombie powders. The reason why I have this many zombie spells is because I picked up zombie powders and refined them. Right? But I picked up zombie powders just from random fights I was having in this area. And I didn't really grind to find those fights. And there's a bunch of other spots. There's like some sleep powders that I could have actually... I don't have the status magic refine ability here, but if I had those, I could turn those into sleep powders. And I don't know if those are as good to junction to stats as zombie powders are, but I can't imagine they're that much worse. Like, they're probably like 12, get me to 1200 or 1400 health instead of 1600, but it's still way more than this part of the game like asks for, right? Like, I could not level up until late disc 2 and just be like fine here. And this is kind of this is what I mean by, like, this is the problem, right? Is if you like, just restating the thesis, if you don't engage with the game systems, everything is like padded to hell, right? All the enemies have way too much health. Your characters still kind of have way too much health, but you're leveling up and they're leveling up with you, so eventually they're gonna hit a threshold at which they're going to like start doing more damage, and you won't really be able to keep up. And then, I mean, you can, but it gets dicey. And then the other way to play the game is to engage with the systems a little bit, right? So use the junction system to your advantage. Use the refiner system to get around the fact that the draw system is so bad, right? Just the draw system leads to such terrible play patterns. And just as you do that more and more, you're like, okay, well, the draw system doesn't matter because I'm now refining items to get my things. And then casting magic isn't something I want to do because isn't typically something I want to do because casting magic means I have less of the item I want to use, but also the magic, but more importantly even than that, casting magic doesn't do anything about enemies in this game. It's not better than using physical attacks when your physical attacks are junctioned with stuff like water or even zombie, right? And then you just end up in this spot where, like, the game becomes incredibly repetitive. You're just walking through the game using the attack command on everything, and not using your GFs ever, because that's not good in either version of how you're playing the game, really. I guess it's actually a lot better if you're, like, playing normally. But there's no, like, there's no golden path. There's no path toward, okay, the things the game is incentivizing me to do, the thing the game incentivizes me to do is the fun way to play. Like, all of the ways to play the game are degenerate in some way. Whether that's casting draw over and over again to get your things, or going into the menu and refining stuff so you don't have to deal with the draw system, and then, like, junctioning, like, whether that's not junctioning at all for whatever reason, or using the junction system to your advantage. Whether there's no good path, because as soon as you push a little bit, the whole thing falls over. I don't have good magic. I don't have particularly good spells junction to my characters right now. Right? Like, obviously, Yeah, I don't have enough of those because I didn't really pick them up. But truthfully, it doesn't matter. Like, water's pretty good, and water is the first spell that you get. Not the first spell you get, but it's like from like the first group of enemies that you see, and you pick them up from the fish fins, and you just you kill, like, we didn't fight that many enemies. Remember, the achievement we got before was for killing 100 enemies, so we didn't really. There's a bunch of forced fights in there, so it's also not like we did that much. I'm gonna clear out of this. Anyway, I'm belaboring the point at this point. I think the people who played FF8 way, way, way back in the day, they played it. It's not that they have nostalgia goggles on, even, right? It's that the way they played the game was one in which they weren't engaging with the game systems basically at all, and they were playing the game like the way they would have played other FF games. And I think they just forgot about, they had a higher tolerance at that point for just battles taking a long time, because we all did. We all had a higher tolerance at that point for battles taking a long time. Well, all the people who played JRPGs and liked JRPGs in general had a higher tolerance at that point for battles taking a long time to finish. But like nowadays, most people will just, like, when you go to cast a summon, it's cool, it's a cool spectacle, but you really don't want to have to do it every fight. But that's how you would get your damage back then in FF8 if you weren't, like, doing the junction things. And people learned how to junction, like, later a lot of the time, right? But it's just, there's no good path to good gameplay. There's no, like, path to good gameplay in this game. Anyway, that's my, like, kind of, that's my 2 cents on this. And that's basically it for FF8. Signing out.